Hi everybody, Miss Ladybug here. It's been a while, so I thought I'd check in. It is February 27th, one more day of this month, and then we're into March. And it is going to come in like a lion, and we'll see how it goes out. We have rain that just rolled in today after a week, 2 weeks of beautiful sunshine. Very cold, but beautiful sunshine. But now we're going to have rain for a week. Anyway, what's going on? I took a somewhat of a break from social media. I was intended to take a 3 week break from social media, except for my Healthy Habits for Living Well page on Facebook. That was all I was going to be interacting with, and the page that I was doing the 3 week break with, the spiritual break. Anyway, I learned a lot in the last 3 weeks about myself and the world, I guess. Things are very interesting right now. These are hard times we are living in. We've been isolated, and that's one of the topics I want to discuss today is isolation. We've been isolated for 2 years, and now there is a war going on that for many reasons does not make sense except for the country that is doing the attacking. And that's all I'm really going to say about that. I'm not a political person. I don't keep up on all of it. It just my understanding of what's going on and the way I'm looking at it. There's only one country that's going to benefit in the whole world, and that's doesn't roll well with me. I'm not that elitist, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, I was putting some restraints on myself of limiting some foods, limiting social media, limiting my time online. Excuse me. And then wanting to do more meditation, do more exercise, spending more time in the kitchen. Well, as the weeks progressed, I was doing really well. I was doing pretty well the first week. I lost a bunch of weight. I was feeling less inflammation, which was one of the things. I was meditating daily. I was getting daily movement and exercise. Things were going pretty good, but I was feeling really isolated. My girlfriend that I hang out with most here where I live now, she was injured on Christmas Eve and has been laid up and can't drive, and my truck has been broke down, and I'm trying to get another vehicle, but I wasn't able to get out and about very much, and I don't have phone here, no telephone, no TV, so I was really cut off, not having participating in social media, and I started feeling it. I also realized I am still healing from my second round of COVID. I am still very tired. I'm weak and tired. My body is lethargic. I'm not as bad as I was a year ago. I mean, I'm not near as bad as I was a year ago. The end of February, I was still very, very ill last year with headaches and ended with the, excuse me, adrenal fatigue and the vestibular migraines and the hypothermia that I was experiencing. So I'm not having those things. But I had worked myself up, and over the summer, I was out here working, and, I could put in a 4 or 5 hour day gardening and feel really good. I felt it, but it felt good. And I'm struggling at an hour and a half. I did one day because I had some stressful, very, very stressful things going on. That's another thing I'll talk about briefly, but had some stressful things going on last weekend, and boy, that just really threw me for a loop. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping well. I felt cut off. Um, and yeah, it was hard. It was really hard. And it was like, I am feeling super isolated. I have been on the coast over here. I moved. I'm 6 weeks away from it being a year that I've been here. I came like April 14th, I think. So I'm just about 6 weeks away from being on the coast for a year. But that was a stressful move. And then I had another stressful move and stressors in the middle. And so having my truck broke down, that's added another layer, you know. And the reason I'm talking about this is because I think we need to talk about how this isolation is affecting us, especially those of us that live all alone. If I did not have my dogs, I don't know. I don't know how I'd be coping because I can go days and days and not see anybody. I might see the landlords, but we talk for 3 or 4 minutes outside and talk about what needs to be done, and then I go about my business most of the time. I sat and visited the other day for about 40 minutes, and that's the first time in weeks. So, being isolated, it's winter. I historically have had my depression symptoms be much more prevalent in January and February, historically, for years and years. So that's kind of, it's not as bad as it used to be, but it's affecting me. And another thing I kind of learned, so of all the parameters I had put on myself to do for this 3-week thing that I was doing, the spiritual cleanse and focusing and manifesting, I got back into meditating, which I still was meditating, but it was like limited, like, just kind of rote. I'd meditate for 5 or 10 minutes in the morning, and I'd meditate a little bit before I'd go to sleep at night, and that was about it. Maybe if I was out gardening, I'd do some meditation while I was working, or walking meditation, but I really hadn't been meditating, and I have meditated a lot the last 3 weeks, like a couple hours every day pretty frequently. And it's allowed me to be in the moment. It's given me insights to my own behaviors and the things that drive me and the things that frustrate me. I realized, between my own processing and working with my therapist, I'm still super hard on myself. I have this expectation I should be doing more, better, faster than I am. But the reality, the truth, I'm doing my best. I'm disabled. I'm on disability. And it's for a reason. And I'm really grateful that I can do the things I do. And my gratitude, I know, is what carries me through these times, like what I've been going through and feeling and experiencing. It's stopping and assessing, during those meditations of, my dogs are right there. I'm laying in a comfortable bed with warm sheets and a house, a brick and sticks house covering me with electricity and running water and food in a refrigerator. This is my now. Wow. Those are all amazing things, and I have to be appreciative of them. And that gratitude and that focusing on what is good really has been the perpetuation of the improvements that has come my way over the last few years. But I still struggle. I'm human. I am positive. I am grateful. I do use skills. I eat well. I get fresh air. I exercise. I do all the things that I tell people who are asking me, how do I get to be as feeling as well as you are? Well, these are the things that I tell people. I tell them about my sleep hygiene habits. We talk about diets, and people try a lot of different diets. My diet is I eat like grandma ate, and if I find something that doesn't work for me, I eliminate it. But I want organic because I don't want the pesticides and the herbicides. It's not that I think organic is necessarily healthier as far as it's got higher nutritional value. I don't know about that. But I know that my gut has struggled, and from my research, herbicides and pesticides have altered food, which is making people have issues with their digestive problems and getting all the nutrition from their food. So these are choices that I make, Anyway, I probably lost track of where I was going there, but I am a grateful person. I am a mindful person. But it's been hard lately. It's been hard. And with every hard thing, often there is good that comes. Not always. I don't think always. And I don't even like good and bad and right and wrong, because things are what they are. I have had enough experiences in life to know that even when I am using my wisest mind, listening to all the pertinent information that I need, preparing to make a choice, and I make a choice, and then something goes awry down the road, like the last place I lived. That was, I made my best decision with the information I had. Now, yes, there's possibly, I could have been given some other information that was withheld, but I acted on what I was told, what I was informed, how it appeared. And there's no blame of how it went all awry, but it did, even though I was doing my best. And that's what I've been learning a lot of, is just because I'm doing my best doesn't mean things are going to go the way I think that I would like them to, or what I perceive it's going to look like. Sometimes it gets all different, and I have to be in that moment and still be okay. That's the crux of it all, right? That is what it's down to, is we do our best, we go through life, stuff happens, pardon me. I don't know what is going on with this. This just started. My vegetable juice, I made a mock Bloody Mary. It's a vegetable blend juice, and I put a little Tabasco in it, and a little horseradish, and a little squeeze of lime, and a little pickle juice, and a couple olives. Cheers. Anyway, but no, that's the crux of it, is we go through life, we hopefully learn and go, oh, that going down the road that way wasn't working so good. I was carrying too much weight, whatever, So you try to learn from something that didn't work right one way, and then you go along, and life happens, and you were doing your best, but it still didn't work out the way you'd hoped it worked out, and maybe it caused some challenges, maybe it caused some discomfort, maybe it really was hard. Kind of like the whole thing of coming off meds. Yes, it would be better for the doctors to do full disclosure and tell us what these medications can do to us. And I say can, I will never be 100% against meds person. I'll never be a person who thinks everybody goes through what I went through or what people that I know have gone through. There's a percentage of us. But yes, doctors could do better about being more proactive in informing patients who look up to them and value their knowledge and their education ability. But we have to also be our own advocates for ourselves and be intelligent consumers of medical care. It's like any other commodity. Yes, they have a lot of knowledge in one area, and that's why we go to them for that. Just the same as you go to a mechanic if your car breaks down. But your mechanic can screw up just like your doctor can screw up, and you better know what's going on, at least basically, or have a friend that can help you navigate to advocate for your own best health. So, yeah, we do our best. And then we get hit with the circumstances we didn't plan for, we weren't expecting, and they're uncomfortable and we don't necessarily like them. And that's life. It really sucks sometimes, and it's really beautiful so much of the time. And that's what I try to focus on. But I have felt really disconnected, and I don't like that. I've learned to live with myself. I mean, I used to have to be around people all the time and be talking all the time and be very social. I mean, if you talk to people who've known me most of my life, they would say, "Oh, Debbie was a very highly social person." And and that I had to have people. I was codependent. I needed that energy from people. But now it kind of hurts if I'm around too many people. But being this isolated, I mean, I think we were designed to be communal people to some degree, to at least have interactions, and no man is an island. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk because I hadn't talked to many people lately. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. That's going, man, it's winter and I still don't feel good, whether it be from, you've got fibromyalgia, or you have Crohn's, or you have, any kind of condition that is a chronic condition that wears you out, because those kind of things wear you out. PTSD, folks. I got really triggered. I talked just briefly, and I'm not going to go into big details, but I got really triggered last weekend. I had my PTSD stuff seriously, really, really triggered. It wasn't good. And I just had to shut down for a couple days. I mean, I literally wouldn't have been good to anybody for 2 or 3 days. And I don't like it when that happens. But that was my best. And it was better than it used to be, because I had to navigate talking with some loved ones who in the past I've struggled having conversations with, and we haven't gotten along, and things have gone awry because emotions were running high and PTSD was triggered. And it went well. It was uncomfortable. There was discussions about very uncomfortable topics, but I was able to navigate them, and that is a sign of healing. Because when I was first coming off meds, and when I first came off benzos and opiates especially, I could not have a relational conversation without being activated in some form, because my nervous system was so screwed up, post-acute withdrawal syndrome, PAWS. I felt under attack all the time because I couldn't make sense of anything. So now that I can have difficult conversations about difficult topics that are triggers for me, that says I'm getting better. But as I said earlier in this video, there's that little thing on my shoulder, not not Lily, but there's this little thing on my shoulder that says, oh, but you could do so much better. You used to put out so much work and now you just hardly do anything. What's wrong with you? And that's old stuff. That's stuff I was programmed on, of how I'm expected to be in the world. And then I carried it on and perpetuated it all through my adult life. Was no matter what, you can't stop, keep going, push, 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 push. Well, that doesn't benefit anybody, because it just makes people sick when they do that kind of stuff, and I just can't do it anymore. I did it for years and years, and I crashed, completely crashed. So, if you're struggling at this time of year, if you're tired of being isolated, if you have a little bit of winter depression, seasonal affective disorder, if you're worried about the world affairs, you're not alone. A lot of people are just hanging on right now. And the best thing we can do is to hang on together and find what is our common ground. Find what's good in one another. Support and uplift one another. We don't have to agree on every single thing to still go, hey, you got a new car? Right on. Even though I don't see eye to eye on you politically, I can still celebrate that you got a new car. Or, or I can help somebody out with something, and I don't ask who they voted for or any of that kind of horse crap. If I see someone that I want to help them. I'm not thinking about all that. So, yeah, if people aren't treating each other well, then it's kind of like, that doesn't roll with me very well. But if you don't need to go around being mad at everybody. And that's what it feels like sometimes. That's kind of some of the dialogue. That's kind of why I was taking a break from social media. There is a lot of angry people out there, and they just want to poke at you. They act like they're in 7th or 8th grade, sitting behind you in school and just kind of poke. That's not helpful. So anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to touch base. I wanted to say I'm better than I was a year ago, but I'm not as well as I was in July and August last summer. So, setbacks, another thing to be accepted. And for me, gratitude, acceptance, going with the flow, and taking a look at how far I've come. That's what gets me going again. And I have come a long ways. And I'm not done yet. Anyway, I hope you might have got something out of that. I usually just share because people have said they get benefit from my videos. I do them off the cuff. I don't have a script. I don't have anything written down most of the time. Once in a while, I'll be doing a PSA type video, but usually it's just sharing where I'm at and what's going on and what this journey is like. So if you have anything that's similar like me, you have PTSD stuff, you've been on meds and coming off, you've had struggles with family, you've had COVID and you're a long hauler, you're trying to navigate the pandemic, maybe you got something out of that. I don't know. Anyway, I thank you if you've watched all the way through. Peace. Love ya.